good in the AHGL games I've been casting. Though actually, the one that I can clearly remember, I believe it was Saturday. Seriously, Diax had a sick top laner up there, wrecking fools. He was like 8-0 and something, but he was kicking butt up there. So much respect for Garen players. If you let him get kind of loose, he can give you a lot of trouble. And then we also have the great Graves. He actually is kind of falling out of favor. I mean, he still gets played a bit. He's still pretty good with the Leona support, but not quite what he used to be. He's been kind of nerfed. A lot of players have changed their ideas of what they want to have in lane. Now it's a lot of poke, long range type champions. We've been seeing a lot of Misfortune, Caitlyn, and the like. And then coming back, it looks like they have decided to round out their lineup with Mundo. So they're locking in Mundo as their last pick. I have to believe Mundo is probably going to be the jungler here. And then we should see Yorick maybe in the top lane. And then we're going to see a dual lane of probably... There's a lot of... I can see it going either way. Like, I can see you throwing a Ryze Pantheon in the same lane, or a Ryze Lux, or, I mean, any three of those champions. If you combine them together, that's a scary lane. That's a lot of damage coming at your face. And I don't know. This is going to be actually really, really interesting. I'm really excited to see, which of those three champions decide to actually pair up together and go to town. Let me just check something really quick. All right, we're still good. Okay. Yeah, my dashboard, for some reason, there must be a bug in Twitch today. There's something wrong with the dashboard. Just in case, I think I'm actually going to locally record this game. Just in case. I'm feeling some shadiness going on here. Alright. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make sure we don't lose footage here. Definitely want people to be involved. Alright, so getting back to the action. We have two really solid teams set up here. Two pretty good lineups. A very AoE damage focused lineup from Rockstar, and Security Matrix with some trickeration up their sleeves. A lot of power champions. Ryze has been a really, really, really big factor in a lot of these games recently, and Pantheon as well. It's been able to snowball games really, really hard. And Lux is a respectable champion. Looks like we're gonna have Lux support. If we can look here, I can unblock the summoner spells for us so we can all see what's going down here. I believe Lux is going to be support. Obviously, she has the heal there, so I have to imagine that's going to be. So it's just going to come down to who to decide to put in that bottom lane. Now, they don't have a ranged AD as you would normally typically see. They could go something really crazy and make Lux an AD or something ridiculous like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I have to imagine it might be Lux Pantheon down bottom. But who knows? I'm just going to have to wait. I can speculate as much as I want. I don't know what's going to happen. Rest of the lanes look like they have nothing fancy, no teleports anywhere, just ignites. Garen's just going to want to kill in that top lane, try to snowball it, gain control of it, and then just wreak havoc in that top jungle on blue side. And Yorick should be able to sort of deal with it. I mean, he actually has a lot of sustain. He's a pretty safe top laner. So I have to believe Circe Sparn can handle this. So if you are tuning in, this is Rockstar Games. The team that you see here for Rockstar actually is mostly made up of the folks working on GTA 5. So if you've seen any of the trailers for that game looks pretty sick. I'm definitely going to be picking it up when it comes out. So a bunch of cool group of cats over there. And on the other side, for Security Metrics, we have a bunch of people from the same department as well. Actually, Security Metrics does a lot of data security, do a lot of credit card stuff, protect your money, so or help other organizations protect your money. So it's all good. Good people working with millions of dollars protecting us. It's nice. Just wait for the game to load up here. And there we have it. At least looks like a few people were pretty festive. Picked up at least Katarina was pretty festive. Right, the right. No, the one of the bonus for me though. See, I actually live in Seattle, so PAX is really easy to go to. So getting all the PAX skins and going to Riot and getting all the Riot skins is it's pretty easy. It's a nice luxury. But I like to give back. You know, if you tune into a lot of Raise Your Weapon streams, we actually give away skins a lot of times to our viewers and stuff like that. We run a contest. We run like MVP contests where we'll have everybody basically go onto our Facebook, try to guess the KDA and CS of a champion that we pick out. For example, if I picked out Katarina, we would do that, and then whoever gets the closest basically wins skins. It's a way for us to give back to the community, share the wealth. So there you have it. That's actually pretty awesome. Pantheon's gonna actually haven't seen anyone rock that recently. It's like a slow start for Katarina and Garen buying up here, searching for their items. Just so anyone wants to know, actually, there is a slick program called Enigma that you can actually change your recommended items. They can change your starting items. And so you can actually set up your build so when you start out right away, if you click on recommended, you can have all the items that you want to start with right there, and you just go boom, 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 grab all your items, run out of base really, really quickly. It's a really handy item. You don't have to reset it. You don't have to re-download it every patch. It doesn't break, right? Won't ban you for it. So something to definitely check out if you're interested in anything like that, or you have trouble, getting out quick from your spawn. So check it out, Enigma. Google it.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Looks like security metrics has come down here into the bottom tri-brush. Probably gonna do an invade on red, blue team. Rockstar just wants to defend their blue buff. Doesn't want to have Maokai lose that. Looks like they've actually. No. Just checking around here, and there's the invade coming through. Let's see if they dive in or they loop around. Sometimes teams will wait here, sometimes they'll loop around the edge. That's the old tried and true. Try to catch people out. Maybe a Maokai. It was very common for Maokai. Maokai would try to clear Raise here because he can actually do it pretty much instantly if you start stacking at 114. He starts stacking his Sapperlings. He can actually clear that Wraith camp instantly. So it looks like they're just checking around here. Looking to possibly pick someone off and just do red. But Mundo picking up this early red would actually be pretty good for them. So this is actually, I like this move. And the thing about this is you actually have to do a lot harder leashes whenever you do this now in League of Legends. It's not the old way where someone can just Rise can throw one auto attack and the Lizard follows it behind. But they have that early red. They could go for an early gank. It looks like it is going to be Lux Pantheon down here. So that will be correct. And I wonder if the other team basically knows how to deal with this. Now, one of the advantages that Pantheon does have is he does have that block. So against 80 carries, he will be able to eat shots if he wants to. And he has a lot of harass with those spears. You're just seeing it come down here. And Graves, you can see, trying to trade right there, but he's able to go in and easily farm. Now, the key for Graves and Leona is that they're going to want to keep as much pressure as they feasibly can on him. But as they gain level, it's going to become harder and harder for them to do that. In the middle lane, it looks like Rise putting a lot of harassment early on Katarina. Katarina doesn't have the best time against Rise, actually. Rise can actually... there was a time where she would actually, she would just do a lot of harassment. She does not have to rely on mana. But as Rise gets a lot of his mana items, he doesn't have to worry about that. And if she comes in on him, he can basically lock her up and deal a lot of damage onto her really, really quick. You see the early damage right here. Ignite going down, flash out underneath her turret, but she's going to be able to eat up some health. Actually, she's already through her health potions. And what we see from Andy, or Eddie right here, is that this is more what people are going from. They're going for flasks early. We see 3 flasks early for security metrics, and the flask basically gives you 3 health potions. There's 3 pseudo health potion mana potions out of it, and they refill every time you go back to base. It's ridiculously cost efficient. It's really good for standing in lane. The fact that it also gives you mana lets Rise do stuff like this where he can be really aggressive and harass the crap out of Katarina. And Katarina can't do much about it because she has no way to sustain anymore. She can try to farm from range, but with a flash still in hand, Rise could easily just flash in there really quickly, do a combo, and take her out if she just decides to hang around there too long. Meanwhile, he can, look, he's using, he could possibly use Flask again. He has a bunch of health potions. Yorick's already ready too for the harassment from Garen. It's pretty much the same way. Now, Yorick's already very, very low on mana, trying to keep this lane pushing and is going to want to try to sustain it against his tower. Looks like Garen might back here early. Might buy up and go for something pretty aggressive. And here we go. Maokai coming in here for a gank. Karen not quite ready to follow this up yet. He should be able to get out of this with his flash, but it's going to be close. Very, very close. Ignite does go down, though. Seals the deal. And Mundo trying to come in here. And just a little bit of rope-a-dope there by Katarina. Just waiting for her jungler to come in. And they seal the deal with that Ignite. Well played by Rockstar right there with that early lane. You know, just taking advantage of Ryze's really, really heavy aggression. And the great exhaust actually on to Pantheon. Pantheon's going to have to flash out of this. Not quite ready for that trade right there. And one of the things is, too, is when you start that early flask, you do want to go heavy wards early and ward yourself up. So if you do get aggressive like that, especially if that was your strategy out the gate, is to be very, very aggressive against Katarina. Probably a good idea. You can actually start flask, double wards, and a couple health potions. That probably would have been good enough for him to actually go in there and try to make something up. Now he has a ton of mana. He started Sapphire Crystal. Has a penance, so he can get a little bit of a Fairy Charm, so you get a little bit of mana regen in there too. And that's going to help him sustain here. And here comes Mundo behind Garen, trying to go for this gank. He's going to flash out, and the cleaver misses, and that will be an escape. And the problem with that gank too is partly there's really not any hard CC there. There's some slows, but it's really hard for Garen to actually hold him down there. The other thing is that Yorick is also very, very low on mana in that top lane, so he's not able to do a lot. And that's something as a jungler, when you come out for a ganks, you have to communicate with them and go like, hey, it's great that we burn the flash, but see here, Garen's back in here, full life, still harassing him. If you don't have mana, then you can't really contribute to the fight, can't really do a lot of damage, especially as Yorick. And so it's really not worth the gank, but you're pretty much better served just going back into your jungle, farming up a little bit. Nice attempt to grab onto Leona. Could have done a lot of damage here. And we can see now 4 flasks. 4 flasks for Team Security Metrics. The only one not having it is their jungler Mundo, and he pretty much doesn't need one. For the rest of the team, living and dying by it. Now that item is going to get nerfed. I've talked about it a lot today, but it is going to be about 300 gold. And here we have an engagement really quickly here, followed right up by Lux. Ignite going on to Leona. They will be able to pick up the kill, but will Pantheon be able to escape? I don't know. It's going to be very, very close, but flash after, and Nemazoid is going to seal the deal and pick up that kill. Nice little trade for them right there, especially with Graves ending up on top. Graves wasn't able to pick up an assist, or actually he picked up a kill, but the assist kill was still pretty good there. Leona able to pick up an assist in that, so pretty much an even trade, except for Maokai got a little bit of extra gold in there. Been doing a good job around the map right now, helping out his team, so props to the Maokai. Doing a good job in this new jungle, which if you try to go for ganks in the new jungle and you fail pretty hard, it does put you quite a bit behind your opponent if they decide to just farm it up. We've actually seen a lot of new jungle strategies where you actually can go XP runes and masteries and actually rush level 6 really, really quickly as a jungler and farm up really, really heavily. But Cleaver needs to land. It will land and they get another slow on there, but they just really don't have enough damage to deal with Garen right now. Garen, pretty tanky, has that courage. Looks like he has a flash of rejuve beads now too. And the new season 3 laning meta is pretty much just like lots and lots of sustain over necessarily items. Like, in the original in season 2 you saw lots of Doran's blades or like big leaps for full items, but what you're seeing here too is kind of what the norm is now, where it's like lots of little items, and except for if you're able to farm up the new 1550 and get yourself a BF sword, which Graves has already been able to secure for himself, which is pretty nice for him. And but that's kind of expected. He should have a CS advantage on Pantheon unless Pantheon's able to get some kills. And that lane down bottom is going to have to pick up kills if they're going to execute their strategy correctly. Now the cool thing about this lane though is that Pantheon can get out of lane with Grand Skyfall, or he can get back to lane really, really quickly, protect it, get around the map, and he doesn't have to necessarily be locked into middle. And there is the combo onto Leona, and they are going to convert that. Graves trying to trade here. No vision for Pantheon. Pantheon's going to try to back off this. Graves doesn't have a lot of mana left on him, but he does have a lot of AD with that BF sword. So he's going to try to farm up here, and here comes the Grand Skyfall, and he is right in the middle of it. Still going to land. Sun goes down. Converted right there. Beautiful play. getting the kills, and just like I said, you know what? They had to get the kills with this lane combo, and sure enough, they do. And now it's going to give Pantheon a chance to catch up a little bit in CS as well. And they're looking pretty good here in this bottom lane. Ryze able to pick up that blue buff. Meanwhile, Katarina has gone back as well. She's going to pick herself up a Haunting Guise. Haunting Guise, I mean, it was already a great item. I personally loved it a lot. I'm a big Rumble player. So, and then Landry's Torment, they finally came out with an upgrade for it, and Landry's Torment is honestly a really fun item and not a fun item to play against. It adds a lot of damage to your attacks, and already builds out of an already stellar item that players were building anyways to get a lot of armor penetration. Or magic penetration. Magic penetration is already better. Penetration in general is already better in League of Legends now because of the way they reworked it. And that's pretty much what you have to do as Ryze actually in that combo right there that you saw. Katarina goes in, she spins. You basically, every time she Shumbo's in on you, you basically convert. And there's the Garen that you need. The Garen that you deserve right there. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get a little bit of control in that top lane, which he already was. He was pressuring Yorick a lot. Yorick taking the wrong path here. He's not going to be able to protect. And Ryze might be in a little bit of trouble here. Yorick coming down now, throwing in some ghouls, might be able to walk him off. And now Garen might be in a little bit of trouble, but Katarina has done enough damage. Ryze is going to not be able to survive through this. He is going to get picked up. Now we have a red buff actually onto Katarina. She's going to be able to use that to slow down Yorick. I don't think Yorick is going to be able to escape out. It's going to be very, very close. Will he be able to do it? No, Twisted Advance is going to seal the deal. And Katarina feeling really good in this mid lane, rolling out to a 3-0-0 lead. Not killing it in the CS, but it doesn't matter. Now the good news is for Ryze though, is if he can stay even. Now they need to control the Katarina, because if Katarina gets out of control and she's able to start roaming to other lanes and starting to get kills, then there's going to be a lot of trouble for security metrics. They're going to have to lock that down at some point, or make sure they have a lot of wards so they can catch her if she tries to get out of lane. And Ryze can't really push to basically, if she tries to get out, starts getting out of lane, Ryze is going to have to follow, or because he can't really push as well as a lot of other champions to try to punish that. So, but if he can stay even, which looks like what's kind of happening right now, good spacing by Graves, backing him off out of there, getting a lot of burst damage out, and using that smoke to great effectiveness right there. But the key is going to be for Ryze is if he can stay even though, he's going to be looking really, really good. Simply because Ryze, when you get later in the game, as far as mages goes, very, very strong, very, very effective. And definitely one of those champions that can carry the game very, very well. So Garen up top here. How is Garen doing in this top lane? Let's see, 48 to 53. So Yorick's doing a good job farming up there. He's been under a lot of pressure, but Garen quite hasn't taken advantage of that. But he was able to get in the jungle, was able to do a lot of damage in that early skirmish they had in there, converted some kills for their team. A lot of the gold looks like it's sitting on Katarina and Graves at this point, which is really honestly where they want it. We see the Sightstone on him. Sightstone, a very good item for a lot of top laners. It pretty much replaces Heart of Gold, but Heart of Gold's role used to be where you get gold efficiency from that, and you get some health. It was kind of that all item. It basically got replaced by Sightstone, and you kind of get the same gold efficiency because you get a bunch of wards. He's going to be able to protect himself. He can go into Red's jungle right here, and he can actually place it at their red buff, like you saw earlier, come in and possibly get some kills if he sees an opening. So Sightstone, a very, very strong item. We're seeing it more and more on jungles. As you can see here, oh, Katarina dealing a lot of damage to Ryze. Will Ryze be able to deal with this right here? It's going to be very, very close. It's going to have to combo back. Meanwhile, Mundo coming up top, trying to put a lot of damage on there. It looks like Ryze is going to escape, but the cleaver misses. The exhaust wears off, and Garen should be able to get out of that one pretty easily. And a leap strike is able to land. Heartseeker strike following that up. Just a lot of shields all over, and some pings coming down. Maokai coming down the pipe. They do see this. They're going to try to get out of the way, try to get out of the Twisted Advance, but Maokai looks like he's going to possibly just back off here. Top lane, meanwhile, pretty much a farm fest, putting a little bit of damage onto him. Garen does have Flash, he does have Ignite, and he does have his ultimate, so he's just basically waiting his time where he can get Yorick low enough and they can go in for the full ult. But the key is you have to be, there is going to be a ghost there, so he can't take too much damage going in, but he should be probably pretty fine if he decides to go in there for that trade, I would have to imagine. Mundo roaming around, actually being caught by Garen up there, and will He's going to try to trade right here. There's the Ignite. There's the ult. Is going to be able to convert it. Now he needs to try to survive this. Flash away, but Pantheon in a lot of trouble as well. Will the tick go in? The last tick does go in. Lux is trying to flash here. Uses that slow. Very clever, but I don't know if it's going to be able to survive for... Will there be a Twisted Advance or anything to follow up? No, it's not going to be. Lux is going to be able to get out of this. And Garen was able to fall in the middle of all that. Mundo luckily was able to probably land some cleavers, track him down, which is very, very good for this top lane. They didn't just trade for nothing. And we're pretty much having an even game here. Very, very slight lead for Rockstar at this point. And we saw all that harassment that Ryze has been taking, but he builds pretty tanky. He just builds up all this mana, does damage, is able to sustain through it. And so far, even though we've seen him low and attacked a lot of times, we've seen him die a lot, he's still doing really, really good in CS. He's still building up his items that he needs to build up. Katarina with a lot of penetration at this point. The other thing, too, is we actually haven't seen Katarina get out of lane at all yet. She's level 11. She has her level 2 ult. So if she wants to, she can think about going in there. And we see Ryze here just locking her up a little bit, trying to do some damage, but he gets in a little deep. Katarina trying to trade with him, but she's coming out a little bit behind on these trades right now. Looks like they're going to feed the blue buff to Ryze over there. Mundo being a good guy. Being a good jungle. Helping his buddy out. I always feel like I'm getting deja vu from a lot of the members on the enemy teams. A bunch of ruby crystals, bunch of flasks, bunch of tears. It's very consistent. And then on the other team, sight stones everywhere. They have so many wards. They have all the vision. Looks like Ryze now covering actually the blue exit for blue side. A lot of wards going down for both teams. A lot of heavy warding near this top side. Typically don't see that too much. Ryze is rotated up, looking for something to do. Knows Katarina's out of lane. Lane was pushed up, looking for a move to make. But I think he's decided, realizes what's up, that he's probably standing on a ward. He's going to go back to lane to try to keep Katarina off that middle tower. Leona, meanwhile, trying to sneak up here, get some wards down, get some vision, make sure that no one tries to sneak up on them. And so, really, overall, just great warding by both teams. And I'm looking for the next play that's actually going to break this game open. I know there's something they could definitely do something with Pantheon. You do still have Grand Skyfall, but there it is. Katarina actually rotating down. I don't know if Ryze has called this out yet. They don't have a ward up in this tribush, but I think they know something is up. They're kind of backing off here. Trying to hide back here, but Pantheon going in. No, they don't. Graves is going to lead it off. Stun coming in. Leona slow is going to land. There's the ult from Katarina. Will they be able to finish it off with the Ignite? Yes, they will. Kesselon feasting right now. 4-0-0. Looking good, and that is the getting out of lane that I was looking forward to. Ryze, in the meantime, trying to push this lane. He's popped his ult, trying to get that AoE damage in there. Maokai's going to come in here, try to cover some of this, get some experience, but Katarina already running on her way back up here, and she actually bought a Giant's Belt actually back there in 4th health potion. She has a lot of sustain and got a lot of health actually back on top of that. And we've actually seen a lot of belts out there. 4 ruby crystals now for security metrics. They just must just have like a. They must have their own manifest book of what to build for their team. Really, really efficient low tier items. We're gonna build, guys. There's a Twisted Advance flash underneath the turret. Very, very smart by him. Already missing a lot of his health as Maokai. Maokai is going to try to get out of this. It's going to be very, very close. Ignite will it be enough, but Cleaver is going to finish it off just to make sure. And Katarina backing off out of this. Has her Death Lotus, but it's not going to be a match for 2 very, very tanky champions right there. Ryze going to eat a turret shot for that. Just trying to be aggressive, trying to put some damage on there. Leona is rotated up there. They need to be careful of that. I think they did see her out there. So just trying to put a lot of pressure in here. A lot of movement, but there's a lot of wards going on. Most of the wards, the river is just absolutely warded up. Pink ward out over here by Dragon. There's Blue's vision, Red's vision. A lot of exits and entrances of jungles right at this point. Looking at Graves, 112, still keeping that CS lead as he should. Jungle's pretty much even, which is actually pretty impressive. Ryze running for his life here. Nice little rune prison to get some distance. Luckily, there was no jungler in that area at all. Otherwise, it might have been picked up. There's the combo coming in here, focusing back onto Leona. They need to be careful with this. They keep focusing onto Leona. And Leona, eventually, at some point, if you keep killing Leona, she's not going to be worth all that much. And the other part is she's not the one that's dealing out the really big damage. She's just the CC. And she can be kind of tanky. So, I mean, if they can get the kills, it would be nice, but they really want to try to pick up Graves or something like that, because if you take Graves out of the component, just Maokai Leona isn't going to be very, very scary for you to press a tower or push a lane with. Look up here, Garen. Just doing his typical thing, just roaming around trying to look for a hole possibly. They do have a lot of wards up here though, so he's not going anywhere quite yet. Muto maybe has a little PTSD or whatever from last time, but he does have his red buff this time, looking good. Actually his blue buff as well. He's just stacking those buffs in that jungle. He's going to come up here, probably try to chase down Garen, but Garen did see him come up here all the way and not too scared of him. Mobility boots and all. Cleaver is going to miss. Might throw another one, but he should be under turret by then. But Ryze actually rotated up as well. They're going to dive this. It's going to be very, very close. The Shackle is going to steal the deal. He will not be able to escape at this point, and that is going to be converted. Katarina coming up here, trying to Deathlows, trying to kill Mundo, but Mundo has his ult up. He's going to regen enough that he's not going to be able to be caught. And this gets kind of scary if they can ever actually get... Again, you know, Pantheon, they do have that Grand Skyfall. They could make some stuff happen here if they want to. 3v2 on the bottom lane. They're backing off out of this. Leona, it's going to get the slow twisted advance on Deluxe. Reverts stun back onto Maokai, trying to get him out of this. Collateral damage, trying to come in and do some serious damage, but it's not really doing anything. They're actually were able to dodge a lot of that damage, and they pushed back the turret, taking a ton of damage on their way out, and they really didn't put a lot of damage on it. Actually dealt with really, really well by Security Metrics right there. Good work by the Pantheon and Lux combo down there.
Turret has been destroyed.
Mundo is now on duty, has his Warmogs, has a bunch of health. Coming here, throwing cleavers. And there's a stun. A lot of aggression as we see from Pantheon. He seems to get near that turret and wants to make something happen. Is going to get picked off yet again, though. Very, very kill happy, but I think he's expecting to get a lot more burst damage out of it than he's actually getting when he decides to go in there. Meanwhile, they're actually going to feed Katarina the blue buff there. Give her a little bit more cooldowns, I guess. Between the two of them, neither one of them use mana, so might as well give it to Katarina. Looks like Lux is going to back. We have Revolver for Ryze. Is actually going to get a little bit more health back now when he decides to combo, which will be very, very good for him. Black Cleaver online for Pantheon at this point. York just getting even more tanky. Meanwhile, Graves actually has his Bloodthirster, built a Zeal up here. We've actually seen a lot more of this item right here, Emblem of Valor. Been seeing a lot more of it on a lot of champions. I kind of like it. It does give some sustain in there for your team. It gives actually a health regen aura, which isn't too bad, and it builds into a lot of cool items. And oh my gosh, kill bottom. Oh, double kill actually for Pantheon. I have to believe there's a Skyfall in there. And there's a turret going down from mid, but let's go back, see what happened here. I have to believe Pantheon did come in possibly for a Grand Skyfall after they decided to back off here. Pantheon, we can see him start to rotate down bit to get in range. I imagine that has to be what happened in here, but it was very, very close. They thought they could get a kill out of this. So let's watch and see what happens. I think they go full aggressive. I have to guess they go full aggressive on Lux here. She tries to back off, and in the response, they make it rain, make it rain Pantheons. And here it is, the full-on press. And there it is, trying to get her. Grand Skyfall does come down. Lux is very, very low. Comes in there. Oh, wow. Huge burst damage onto Graves. A lot of great focus. And Leo just doesn't have enough damage to follow it up. Great, great communication and play right there. The Grand Skyfall doesn't even really hit. But combined with Black Cleaver and Lux's damage output down there, just absolutely torch Graves. And I'm sure he was not expecting that. Now another kill. And they are just full pressing right now, and as good as a game as Katarina was having earlier, it does not matter for this pressure that they're putting on right now. Garen, meanwhile, trying to take the top turret as best as he can. He actually is down, and now he's actually backing off here, coming back to base really quickly so he can try to defend this. 2 turrets down in the mid, 3 kills swung. Security metrics lighten it up right now. Actually 4 kills. That's some big time turn in this game that was kind of in a stalemate. Really huge in their advantage. Look at right now, they have about a 5k lead. Mundo trying to cover their retreat with his cleavers. Dragon now getting pressured. Will they try to defend this? That is the question. We're going to have to see here if blue team decides to commit to this. Looks like they're going to commit to trying to put some damage onto Mundo. Graves put in as much damage as they can. It looks like Garen's going to commit, but they do seal the dragon. Will they fight here? They're trying to throw down as much as they can. Leona getting in there. And they are going to pick up 1 kill onto Garen. They're going to pick up a 2nd kill on to Leona, and now Graves running for his life. Katarina trying to run up to him. Might be able to turn something around. He is going to juke up, though. Stun goes down. Rise is going to follow that up, and there will be a kill. Maokai has no business here right now, except for to hold him around, possibly for Katarina, but Katarina's not even going to try. She's just trying to kill her minions at this point, and a little bit of piecemeal action, and Security Metrics has now pulled a very large lead, and now all guns are firing. Looks like Graves going for a Phantom Dancer at this point. And Katarina has finished her Warbomb, so she's sufficiently tanky enough. And really that was a case of there was some focus to come in there and stop the dragon, but they didn't really have their full team. Without your full team to really commit there, I don't think it's the best choice there. But you know, hindsight and all, but in general, you want to have a really decisive decision, and they wanted to go in there and try to back that off. They felt really good. They picked up an early kill in that, but they were even late to stop the dragon. And at that point, it's just, you know what? Hey, go farm, push other lanes, try something else. At least group up, because right now, what I'm looking at, Security Metrics is getting very tanky. They're very tanky, and they have really good. They have champions that can still do lots of damage. You see Rise here obliterating Garen. Garen's gonna fall. Looks like Pantheon jumping through here, flashing. Graves eating part of a laser from Lux. Lux trying to back off, but now here we go. There's the CC onto Rise. They need to blow him up if they can. They don't want him to get off any more spell combos so he will get some life back. He actually has been ghosted by Yorick trying to come around here. We can see that spell vamp working to his favor. Will it be able to convert? He will finally fall here, and now Lux is back in here. The rest of the team doing some work. Yorick dealing massive damage combined with Mundo, and they are going to be able to pick it up. Mundo and Yorick being the tanky bros, cleaning up as long with support Lux and doing work. Security Metrics now flipping the score. 8k lead now at this point, 21 kills, and really pretty impressive. They have a huge, massive minions pushing top lane. Looks like they're pushing this mid lane up a little bit. Probably just going to buy up again, then start the pressure all over. Yorick going for a steal of the red buff here. Insult to injury. Might as well at this point control those buffs. Take them when you can, and use that to your advantage. Rockstar, you know, 8k down, still has a chance to be in this. They still have a pretty good team comp. If they can line stuff up correctly, if they can possibly get a pickoff kill, that'd be really good for them. But there's a lot of damage coming from the enemy team. Pantheon, he can put out a lot of damage, but he actually is pretty fragile for his team. So he is a person they could pick up, and that Leona, that Zenith Bladed landed, but they're still going to get it anyways with the Leona, and that's the kind of thing they need. I was just talking about right there, is they need to get those kind of pickoffs, because the rest of the team deals damage, is very tanky, sustained DPS. Pantheon's one of those characters that can do a lot of damage to someone, but if they can pick him off and they can look for it, he's an easy target to pick up in a lot of those team fights. He can easily be collateral damage. And what you saw right there is they're able to pick him up, and they should be able to convert some turrets out of this if they want to press mid, which it looks like they're going to do. Maokai throwing down as well just to make sure, reduce some of that damage. Put a lot of pressure in there. Rise trying to get his blue and then get back to his team as soon as he can to defend what's coming for him. Wards all over the map. Blue's vision, Red's vision. Red has a lot of wards in the enemy territory, like they're warding so far in this game. Keeping up, and it looks like the Sightstone's Sightstone's starting to pay off. They have 2 ruby Sightstones, both on their Sightstone. I believe that's about 8 free wards they can have out on the map at one time. It's pretty strong. And only a ruby Sightstone for Lux at this point, so they don't have a lot of free wards. They still have wards. They're still doing a great job of warding. But we have a Baron going down actually right now. They saw the other team low, and now Maokai is going to be the only one to stop this. But they have enough damage. They might be able to take this down before Maokai and anybody else is trying to get there. Maokai, if he wants to commit to this, he's going to have to run in and focus the jungler and try to get the smite off. But he's not able to do it. Baron buff now for the red team, and they are just running into their doom. Graves way too close in on this team fight right now. Trying to follow the rest of his team. Katarina trying to back off out of this. Ride's going to fall, trying to get out of this. They still have a lot of their main carries up and down, but Katarina getting far in there, trying to deal some damage to Lux, trying to push her out. But again, Mundo and Yorick just able to deal that sustained damage and super tanky. That even after you get through all the carries of security metrics, it's just so hard to deal with that beef. They're going to have to get farther into this game if they're going to want to be able to take down those champions efficiently, and they're going to have to keep Graves up as well. It's going to be a key to them once they can get Graves fed up enough so we can actually pick those people apart. Because right now, they're just running into the enemy team, following around the next target, and just cleaning house. Looking at Pantheon, he pretty much does true damage at this point. He has Black Cleaver plus Last Whisper, which is going to tear through a large percentage of their armor, about 65% of max stacks. So he's going to come in there, 65% penetration plus the 15 plus runes. At the end of the day, you're going to need a lot of armor to have any armor by the time he's done. And at that point, you're pretty much looking at true damage for him, and it'll help the rest of any other AD champions on his team pick apart some of those targets that might be a little bit tankier. It looks like Maokai finished Runic Bulwark. That is actually a good item for them. Teams massing up around Dragon at this point. Red just basically missing Mundo. Rockstar missing Katarina. Katarina's going to come in here. Again, they probably want to look for a pick off here, and they're going to start Dragon. So they must be confident they can win team fights because they're doing this right now. They must know either Mundo's out of there or they want to pick a team fight. They feel really good in their team fight. It's the only reason they do this. Still Baron buffs on team security metrics, and security metrics is going to be able to take this Dragon. So kind of a half thought right there. We should take Dragon, but we don't really want to get a team fight. Hopefully they're not there, and they were there. Luckily Baron is down, so they can go to this bottom lane and try to pick it up, but they need wards here because they need to be able to catch this pain train that's coming through here. And this is gonna be really bad for Rockstar at this point. Garen caught out a little bit here. They will be able to convert this. Now we have a 4v5. Pseudo outside of turret. Leona ult down. Misses. Lux ult's going to hit 3 people. Come in here. Now we have a lot of commitment by Maokai, but Maokai's going to be torn down. Leona very deep in the enemy lines, but she's going to be picked up now. Double kill for Pantheon, and now it's 4v, the last remaining carries of Rockstar, and they're not going to be able to survive any hate that comes their way from security matches because they still have 5 up, some with Baron buff, and they should be able to take out this turret. I don't believe that they're going to have enough to try to stop this push right here. And if they catch Graves at all, he is pretty much instantly dead. So they just need to back off, heal up here, buy whatever they need to do, and it looks like that's what they're going to do now. They're going to have to give up this inhibitor because there's no way they're going to be able to defend at this point. Right now we're looking at 32 minutes into the game. Essentially a 12-13k lead about for team security metrics at this point. Looking really good, controlling all of the buffs at this point, and just feasting right now. And they finished a lot of good items. Rise actually finished. He has this frozen heart now, so he is completely. He's gonna be a handful of deals because not only does he have the extra spell vent from his ult and the Hextech revolver, but he's also gonna have some armor stacked on top of it. A little bit more cooldowns. Why not? Just get those spells out there even quicker. Flash should start to get sold at this point, I imagine, when they can move towards their next items. Hunter's Machete still staying there. Help out, kill some creeps. I'm looking for a lot of, Rockstar's struggling just to build their next tier of items. See lots of blasting wads and components. Looks like Katarina going full, just flat pen build. going for Abyssal Scepter up next. I like Abyssal Scepter. It does give you some magic resist for their team at this point, which does give her some resistance, but magic resist has gotten really expensive now. And Abyssal Scepter, I'm starting to feel the more I play, I'm not as big of a fan of Abyssal Scepter as I used to be. I mean, it used to be this really good, efficient, cheap item. Now, cost-effective wise, I don't know. I'm not feeling as much as I used to. But she is gonna finish it up right now. 5-3 and 3 still has probably. I'm betting the most gold on her team. It's gonna be close between her and Graves. Graves actually has the most gold at this point, 9K. Looks like he's going towards the last Whisper. That'll actually help him out a lot, try to tear through this enemy team. But you can just see the damage that Maokai is taking even inside of his ult at this point. And the turret is down. Leona getting very, very deep in there yet again. Going to be picked up probably in collateral damage if she was able to escape this at all, but I don't see it. Katarina's going to fall, chasing him down. Yorick ult in full effect, just routing Rockstar at this point. Security metrics doing work. Going to be able to catch Graves out. Graves is going to fall. Double kill for Rise at this point, and now Garen, the last man standing. Will he be hit? And yes, he will. Pantheon picking up the ace, finish it off, and they'll be able to take this turret, another inhibitor, and if they really want to, they could push in and probably clear out these next turrets and end this game at this point. The enemy team, most of them down for 20-plus seconds. The only one that's going to be up is Maokai, and Maokai cannot push for hungry security metrics. Actually, sorry, satisfied. Satiated security metrics because they are fed at this point. They're pretty beastie. It looks like security metrics is going to be able to take this game against Rockstar. Congrats to them. Had fun watching the Pantheon Lux bottom lane with some good times down there. And Rockstar, though, they had a really good start. They had a lot of really good moves, but when it came as the game, it felt to me like security metrics just kind of flipped the switch, and they got into the part of the game where they knew how to close out some objectives a little bit better, converted some kills, got up in gold, and then just ran away with it from there. So props to them. Very impressed with their game right there. Again, I am Paddo from RaiseYourWeaponMedia. This is casting the AHGL Rockstar games versus Security Metrics. This VOD will be up on our YouTube, youtube.com/RaiseYourWeaponMedia. Thank you guys for joining me in and watching. In the future, I'll probably have some skins for these AHGL games, and I'll be giving away to people that come in and view our show. So if you want to click follow in the top left, you'll get an email whenever we cast an AHGL show, or likewise, you can follow me on Twitter or Facebook, and I always make posts there about whenever we're going live with AHGL games, and you guys can do some contests, win some skins, maybe some Arcade Sonas, some Riot skins. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe some RP. We always have RP around here at RaiseYourWeaponMedia. So again, thank you very much, guys, for joining me. I am Paddo, and I hope you guys have a nice evening. Congrats to Security Metrics.